Hey, welcome to lesson one. And in this particular lesson, we are just going to do an overview of the whole course. I think it is actually really important for you to get this information so you kind of understand my nomenclature, if you will, in the lessons. So let's start off with the fact that in Canvas we have this lesson page. And at the bottom, you'll notice there are these buttons with next, and usually there's one for previous, but this is the first lesson, so there is no lesson previous. This is an easy way to navigate if you're continuing to just do one activity, watch the videos, and then move to the next one, watch the video, move to the next one, read the notes, things like that. So handy little piece of that. It even will tell you what is coming up next, right? So the big picture is what the next lesson is. Another thing is I have a lot of colors and symbols in here, a lot of buttons, and I kind of want to explain what these mean. So the green are the must-do activities, and these activities are just the most important ones, the ones at least I think are the most important. I really think you should do all the green ones at minimum. Then if you have some extra time, or if you are interested in what you're learning about and you want to understand some more, go for the orange ones, the should-dos. These will give you more context, they'll give you more ideas, more pieces of information that might be really helpful in the long run. But if you're stressed for time or strapped for time or stressed out, then skip the orange ones and just do the greens. So that way you get a good overview of everything. You can always come back later and do the oranges if you have time on the weekend or whatever. It's up to you. The purples, the aspired to-dos, are really kind of going out there further. Most of the time, these are going to be extra videos from people. There'll be books or articles, things like that. So it's like a much bigger time investment. But if you're reading something, you're like, yeah, I need to know more about this. I need to understand this. Then dig in on those purples, because that's where you're going to get that deeper set of knowledge. And then finally, not finally, you'll also see the little target with the arrow stuck in it. And this is what a mastery check, what I call a mastery check. It's basically just your time. Each lesson or each activity will have a discussion I want you to do in it, and I'll show you one of those in a minute. But that's kind of your initial thinking. And then at the end, once you've watched all the videos that you're going to watch for that lesson, do this mastery check, and it's kind of just a way for you to process all the information that came through and be able to ask those questions that you might have still. And this is just a dialogue between you and me, just a way for you to think about it. So I strongly encourage you to be a little vulnerable and real and honest in this. Like, hey, I understand that this may be an important concept, but I don't think it's going to work for me. I've never done this before. I'm afraid that students will X, Y, Z, whatever it might be for you. Just go ahead and go for it and ask me some questions, and that's a great place for it. In the other ones, when we have the discussions, that's where you're going to be asking the group questions, and that's out for everybody. Mastery checks are just between you and me. I will be giving you personalized feedback for each one of those. And lastly, you'll see we have the little movie action scene thing here. And for that, it's activities with videos. Activities with videos for me or other people that I bring in to help me with the videos. Otherwise, they won't have that symbol, and it might be an external video with somebody who's talking about a concept, but not necessarily one about exactly what we're talking about. Anyways, that's about it. Now let's talk a little bit about navigation. I talked about the next button down here, and there's also going to be a previous button over on this side. But I wanted to show you this column over here on the left. Just to the left of every single assignment in here, this list will always be in there. And there's two of them that I think they're most important. Number one is home. Home will take you back to that starting screen where you've got the introductory video and the big buttons for lesson 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the place you'll always start. And so if you know you're on lesson 2, you can just jump right to lesson 2. It's often really handy, though, to go to modules, which is actually where we are right now. And modules are all the different lessons. So here's lesson 1 and all the activities within lesson 1. Here's lesson 2, all the activities within lesson 2, lesson 3, so forth. And that can be really handy if you are in one lesson. Let's say you're in lesson, this third activity here, but you want to go back to the first one just to double check something. So this can be a handy way to go. So let's go back in here. Bottom, next, over here, like I said, if you're done with that activity, you move to next, and this will now show you the next activity in the list. So the big picture and where are we going? And so there's going to be a bunch of readings here. There'll be another video here. But if you want to go back one activity, you can just click the previous button. Yeah, so let me show you one more thing, because this isn't fully built out yet. I'm in the process right now. Let's say we go to this Don't Grade So Much activity. Here's our video. Right underneath the video, you'll see there is a link for a discussion. And so I really want everybody to engage in the discussion. Please, please do that. It's just like a what do you think, your first impressions. Get in here. On this reply, just click on the reply button and tell me what you think. Just type it in. This is what I think. And then at the bottom, you can post the reply. And then others can actually respond to you. They can give you their thoughts on what you said or their ideas or suggestions. This is supposed to have a community feel, but in a way that doesn't require us to be in person together. So please use those discussions. All right, so that's it. Good luck, and I hope you find this to be useful, and I will see you in the next activity.